Welcome, Unpeelers, to the Academy Awards Roundtable discussion. Academy Awards have been the center of conversation after ABC announced the nominees earlier this week.
Our film reporter, Patrick Gunn, and our award show reporter, Meghan Fitzpatrick, are here to discuss this year's picks.
All right, Meghan, let's start with you. The immensely popular Black Panther, its Best Picture nomination. What does it mean for the Oscars?
So Black Panther being nominated, I think, really sets a precedent for Oscar events in the future. I think that we're going to see more blockbuster, big, very mainstream, popular movies entering into the award ceremony. I think this is kind of their attempt at making the awards more mainstream. More mainstream, if you will. I have a wider audience. I mean, it's no secret that viewership has gone down in the past 6 years. So Black Panther, I think, is definitely going to kind of revive that and bring some viewers back into the award show.
Yeah, I would agree. A wise film scholar once said, a good film is a good film. Why should a superhero movie not be nominated because it's a superhero movie, right?
Exactly.
Especially if it evokes like a feeling or like passion and just gets people like riled up behind it.
Everyone
Absolutely.
loved it, yeah.
Now, a movie that has a lot of controversy is Green Book. So amid all the controversies, why does Green Book have so many nominations?
Yeah, this is a gift that keeps on giving Universal Studios, both of them good and bad. But really, Universal Studios is the real reason why this film is getting so many nominations. In October, there was a film called First Man, directed by Damien Chazelle, who directed La La Land, which is a huge Best Picture contender 2 years ago. But that movie at the Toronto International Film Festival, it didn't really stick the landing with people. It had its own controversy itself. Yeah. But then came out of nowhere came Peter Farrelly's directed Green Book. The film won the People's Choice Award at TIFF, and since then, people, even despite the controversy, there's still a lot of support. A lot of critics, although there are definitely detractors, a lot of critics still really like the movie, and every fan loves it. So that's really why it's keep getting all the noms.
Controversy. We've been talking about it so far, and Bohemian Rhapsody is another one that has some controversy. We'll have some at this table as well. Meghan, let's start with you. What's your take on Bohemian Rhapsody?
I absolutely adore Bohemian Rhapsody. I think it has been one of my favorite movies of 2018. I loved everything from Rami's performance as Freddie Mercury. I loved all the costumes, the set, and I mean, I loved listening to Queen's music. You know, I came from this movie not as a huge Queen fan, but I left like listening to their music more and really enjoying that. And I think that that's kind of the telltale sign of a really good biopic, is if afterwards you go and you like try and learn more about them.
Good review right here.
Yeah.
Pat Gunn?
Yeah, so I just want to make this point out very clear. I'm a really big Queen fan. I've listened to their music for years. I have a couple t-shirts. I even have a poster in my bedroom that's right across my bed. Literally every morning when I wake up, I see this poster.
Okay.
That being said, this film really bites the dust. I just really can't stand a majority of this film. Wow. Right off the start, the opening montage when they're playing Somebody to Love for really no reason, it's just really choppy and really poorly edited together. Then the setup for the characters, you really don't learn anything about them. You don't learn anything about each of the band members. You barely even learn much about Freddie's side. He's just like, he's eccentric, you know? He's just a eccentric creative guy. And the thing that really grinds my gears the most about this movie is the way that they're going over the facts behind Queen. Now, I get it. It's a movie. Movies aren't going to be perfectly accurate. They got to tell an entertaining story. But the way that this film skewers the facts, it just makes it into just another standard generic biopic movie. Like, for example, the Queen in the movie, the band breaks. Spoiler alert. The band breaks up, and then so Freddie goes off, and they have to get back together because there's not too much time to perform to rally together and put on the Live Aid performance. That never happened. The band never actually broke up. They actually released 2 albums during that same time period, but in the Live Aid performance, they had a performance 8 weeks before the actual Live Aid concert. They weren't unprepared. That was total fiction. That's just one example of why this movie is so loose with the facts. Ultimately, the controversy that happened behind the scenes of this movie led on the screen for me.
You see, for me, they're jamming like over 15 years of like this whole band's career into one movie, and I think that that's really hard to do. So I think in order to keep it concise, they tried to focus more so on Freddie Mercury than on the rest of the band members, and I think that was more of a strategic move because that way we were able to really focus in on one thing rather than like the whole band, which was smart. Another thing is that I think some of the facts, as after the movie I went to go look up more and I did read about some of the inconsistencies, but I think that those inconsistencies are what made the plot move forward more quickly. I think without some of those things, there wouldn't have been as strong of a climax. It wouldn't have been as good of a story, I think. And it really just kept the plot advancing.
I'm going to bring you back on the other band members because Brian May and Roger Taylor, two of the other members of Queen, are actually producers on this film. And Brian May and Roger Taylor are great musicians. Brian May is one of the best guitarists of all time. Roger Taylor is a great drummer, very underrated. They've never made a movie before, and it really shows here. First of all, those two characters are just so generic. They have one arc, and you pretty much can forget who they are after the movie. And Freddie is just kind of like, again, he's just a weird eccentric. And your point about them having 15 years, I think that's an issue. You're trying to cram 15 years of a person's life into 2 hours. Why would you do that? Why can't you just pick like a part of their life, either just pick right before Live Aid, pick the beginning of their life, maybe pick at the end of his life? They just didn't commit to something. They're just like, we're going to show all of it. And it really, when you're just like throwing a ton of stuff at the wall and see what sticks, and none of it really sticks well.
Wow.
Right. So Meghan and Patrick, we have a bit of mixed feelings on this movie, but overall, what are your best picks?
I think my choice for the Best Picture is Bohemian Rhapsody. I think it was very strong. I loved watching it, and again, I found myself wanting more even after the movie was over. But also, I really liked A Star Is Born. I thought that one was very good too. It's funny to see like the differences between like the concerts within those movies, with A Star Is Born being all performed live. But yeah, overall, Bohemian Rhapsody is my choice for Best Picture.
Bohemian Rhapsody was definitely not the love of my life. I wouldn't even call it my best friend. That movie was just really, really good.
Ouch.
A Star Is Born, you talk about A Star Is Born, that was something going into the season everyone thought was going to run away with all the awards, and just, it hasn't really picked up any steam whatsoever. So I'm not sure if it's really going to win. Another film, Green Book, which won the Producers Guild Award for Best Film, that's usually a pretty good precursor for the award. But this year, I think they're going to give this award to Roma. Roma is a film on Netflix that kind of fits almost all the boxes. It's on Netflix, so every person can see it. It's a film that critics love. It's a smaller art house film with a lot longer takes, directed by Alfonso Cuarón, a director that the Oscars have previously awarded for Gravity. It's a film that critics love, and fans are positive enough about that it seems fair for them to give the Best Picture. But I'd watch out for A Star Is Born and Green Book, and also the sleeper hit Spike Lee's Black Klansman. It's a film that's not really getting a ton of awards, but it's something that really could get recognition because Spike's never won an Oscar, and people really like it.
All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in.
And be sure to check us out on CitrusTV.com for more Oscars coverage. I'm Carmella Boykin.
And I'm Sacchi. Have a great afternoon, Unpeelers.